Monty Python's Life of Brian shows the famous scene in which the question is asked, what have the Romans ever done for us?
All right, but apart from the sanitation, the medicine, education, wine, public order, irrigation, roads, a fresh water system and public health, what have the Romans ever done for us?
Brought peace?
Oh, peace! Shut up!
Recently, Sven read the magazine's special print, The History of NASA, the fascinating story of the iconic American Space Agency from 2022. In it is a chapter on the innovations the world owes NASA. We've already made 2 videos about the necessity of space travel, why space travel makes sense, and the benefits of space exploration. But this inspired us to make a new video with more spin-offs that improve life on Earth. US President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the National Aeronautics and Space Act on July 29, 1958, establishing the civilian space agency NASA. It was important to him that NASA was controlled by scientists and not the military-industrial complex, before which he warned in his farewell speech 3 years later.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
By the way, how independent NASA really is from this world would be a video of its own. A year earlier, in October 1957 to be precise, the Soviet Union had already launched the first artificial satellite into space, Sputnik, and thus gained a head start, while the USA was downright shocked by this event. A short time later, Sputnik II even followed with a living creature on board, the dog Laika. But NASA quickly caught up and now has numerous successes to its credit in its 62-year history, from the manned moon landing to the exploration of the Red Planet, to the construction of the International Space Station. However, this has also cost American taxpayers a lot of money. Currently, NASA's budget is $24 billion annually, but over the decades, this has increased to hundreds of billions of dollars. Apart from the scientific knowledge gained, one can therefore ask whether this money was well invested and did it bring a benefit to the people on Earth. This video will answer this question. We owe one achievement to the tragic fire of Apollo 1, in which 3 astronauts died. For in the wake of that, new flame-retardant materials were developed, which today protect race car drivers and firefighters, among others. In addition, the heat shield technology of the Apollo capsule later improved the insulation of many buildings, as coat steel frames massively improved fire protection. But the most valuable byproduct of the Apollo program was undoubtedly the development of solar panels, which we've already discussed in our video, How Space Travel Helped the Solar Industry. The benefits of space travel are particularly great in medicine. Infrared satellite imaging technology developed at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, made it possible to create a thermometer that measures body temperature using infrared light. In addition, equipment was developed for astronauts to measure oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the body. The Apollo digital imaging processing technology was also famously used in magnetic resonance imaging (MRI) scanners. Furthermore, freeze-drying techniques used to preserve space food passed over into industry, and so did water purification technology. The Space Shuttle program alone has produced more than 100 spin-offs that improve life on Earth. LED panels designed to grow plants on board the shuttles have been adapted for medical uses, and shock absorbers designed for use during the launch of the Space Shuttle have now been used to protect more than 500 buildings against earthquakes worldwide. These shock absorbers are known as fluidic dampers and contain oil to absorb the impact. The International Space Station, ISS, is also particularly productive. NASA, together with the University of Wisconsin, developed a system to grow crops in space without being affected by the naturally occurring hormone, ethylene. This gas causes fruit and vegetables to ripen. This advanced astroculture program not only allows future astronauts on their way to Mars to grow their own food, but it also extends the shelf life of fruit and vegetables on supermarket shelves. As a result, it's helped significantly increase yields in the wine industry, which previously suffered a serious mold problem in wine storage. A somewhat curious improvement came from the parachute of the Pathfinder Mars rover, which is now used to make stab and impact-resistant vests. And the parachute system on the Viking probes in the 1970s helped tire manufacturer Goodyear extend the life of car tires by thousands of miles with stronger-than-steel fibers. In all, there are more than 1,800 catalogued spin-offs from spaceflight that improve life on Earth. So every dollar invested in NASA has a return on investment many times over. In 1974, the famous writer Isaac Asimov said the following on the subject of progress: "If we refuse to take those steps because we don't see what the future holds, all we're making certain of is that the future won't exist." Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we appreciate your likes and comments.